Just ahead on the 30-minute news, a pre-winter snowstorm buries the Midwest, while the weather was a factor in a 4-car pileup on the Northway that tied up holiday traffic.
Also ahead, a new poll shows a majority of New Yorkers would support a Cuomo run for the presidency, even if he's still governor, and we'll take a look at kids, both young and old, enjoying a ride on the rails. It's all next on the 30-minute news.
This is WNYT, Albany. Chris Kapostasy, Joe Moskowitz, meteorologist John Guaraldi, and Gary Apple with sports. This is the 30-minute news.
Good evening. As travelers around the country are headed home from Thanksgiving, much of the nation's midsection is in the midst of a blizzard. And
not only is the storm an inconvenience, it is a killer. With as much as 2 feet of snow falling in places, officials are too busy trying to dig out before they can add up the casualties. 12 cities reported record cold, with Great Falls, Montana, the coldest at 22 below zero. In Green Bay, Wisconsin, they played football today, despite the coldest NFL game temperature in 14 years. Ann Rubenstein reports.
Rain, sleet, or snow, games usually go on, and this one did between the Green Bay Packers and Tampa Bay. The snow came down, but loyal Packer fans sat there and tried to see through the flakes. Not an easy thing to do, especially during this extra point. And you couldn't see it any better on television. The first major storm of the season hit the northern plains hard this weekend. Some deaths have been reported. In the Twin Cities, there have been hundreds of accidents and pileups. By afternoon, there were 15 inches of snow on the ground in the Twin Cities. 8 to 12 more are forecast for tonight with dropping temperatures. Wind chills around Minnesota and other states this evening, 30 to 70 degrees below zero with blizzard conditions. Travelers returning from the Thanksgiving holiday weekend were either stranded or delayed around the region. Airports in some of the larger cities stayed open. The smaller ones canceled all traffic and closed.
Came here at 5:30 this morning and was told I was going to have to wait until tomorrow.
In Des Moines, almost everything was closed today. Major shopping malls lost holiday dollars, even though a few people were ready to spend. Schools are closed tomorrow. And back in Green Bay, the team from the south just couldn't adjust to the north. The game lasted 3 hours, 20 inches of snow fell, and Green Bay won 21-0. Ann Rubenstein, NBC News, Chicago.
Here at home, no snow, but the wet pavement contributed to a chain reaction collision on the Northway, which slowed the holiday traffic to a virtual standstill. State police say the accident occurred shortly after 5 at exit 1W southbound, when the driver of one car stopped because of the heavy traffic. But the driver of the next car was unable to stop quickly enough on the wet pavement. That set off a 4-car chain reaction accident. It took over half an hour to clear up the area and reopen all 3 lanes. 4 people were injured. They were treated at Albany Medical Center and later released.
Off the highways today lived up to its billing as the second busiest travel day of the year. Bill Lambin tells us that whether on bus, train, or plane, chances are the seat next to you was full.
The Amtrak station in Rensselaer, which is usually busy, had a full waiting room in mid-afternoon. But for the most part, it was a happy crowd. Most of these people had just seen family or friends and were willing to put up with other travelers.
You know, not any different really if everybody has a seat, I guess.
Yeah, as long as you have a seat, you don't care.
Right.
Looks like it's going to be a crowded train.
I think so. We missed the 2 o'clock one, so we're stuck on this one.
The Sunday after Thanksgiving is one of the busiest travel days of the year.
At the Albany County Airport, the increase today is not as great as in some years. Special promotional fares had kept passenger traffic higher Thursday, Friday, and Saturday than in years past. But the lines were still long at ticket counters today.
It's fun.
What do you like about it?
It makes this season more exciting.
Discount airline fares have cut into bus business, but today in Schenectady, Greyhound, Trailways, and the others were quite full.
Pretty heavy. This is the 4th section on this particular schedule, and there's one behind me.
The crowds are big, but so is the planning. The Thanksgiving rush is an annual event. Transportation companies expect it, even look forward to it. Now Christmas is just 3.5 weeks away, and they'll do it again. Bill Lambin, the 30-minute news.
It's likely vehicular manslaughter charges will be filed soon against 21-year-old John Callahan of Schenectady, who admitted he was driving drunk last January when his car plunged into Mariahville Lake. Passenger Heather Porter of Galway was comatose for 11 months until her death yesterday. Schenectady County District Attorney John Perch didn't return our calls today, but had said previously he would resubmit the Callahan case if Porter died. Callahan is currently serving up to 7 years in prison for vehicular assault.
The next time you hear statistics on crime in the United States, here are a few more statistics which indicate that the crime problem is much worse than reported. The Federal Justice Department says about 2/3 of all crime goes unreported. Some victims feel the crime committed against them may be too unimportant. However, even violent ones like rape, robbery, and assault are not reported 50% of the time. The reason often given for not telling police it was a private or personal matter. Crack. That's a street name for the purest form of cocaine. In some places, it's easy to get and is said to be easy to use. In New York City, its use is reportedly widespread. That has authorities alarmed. Jennifer McLogan reports.
Drug enforcement officials are calling it the frightening wave of the future. Crack, cocaine in its purest form. This unadulterated cocaine is not sniffed. Crack